thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Thank you, Bill Kazmaier and crew, for leading us into episode 318 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
PSA, if you're friends with Bill Kazmaier on Instagram, don't respond to his direct messages. His account has most certainly been hacked for weeks now, and he will try to ask you about Bitcoin and other things. So I've seen just about half of our Discord crew post screenshots of the direct messages from Kaz. So
maybe he's just taking a really different approach in his life lately.
That's true. Maybe that would be the ultimate.
Like there's
Kaz.
A new crypto.com commercial and Bill Kazmaier comes out. It's like, how to get crypto, how to use your crypto at crypto.com. I'd love to see that commercial.
I think that it's possible now that you mentioned it. I feel silly all of a sudden. But you know what I don't feel silly about?
What?
Our friends over at Spud Inc. at spud-inc-straps.com. They are incorporated, and they do have the Gateway Briefs. What are the Gateway Briefs? I just thought I heard someone say. Well, whether you're just entering the world of geared powerlifting.
It's the gateway to your underpants, right?
That's in some cases, that's true. Or you're a pro who needs a milder set of briefs for your lighter squat and deadlift days, the Spud Inc. Gateway Briefs are the answer. The easy on, easy off Gateway Briefs provide mild hip compression that supports and warms your joints while enabling you to overload your squat and deadlift safely without risk to your hips. And if you're just learning the geared squat, the Gateway Briefs can give you an easier transition than traditional briefs. Got them in multiple sizes, small, medium, large, XL, fit people down 140 pounds all the way up to 300 pounds. They've got single ply and double ply options both on the Gateway Briefs, and they've got those patented Spud Inc. Handles that you can really yank them up there with. So try out the Gateway Briefs. I think even for raw lifters, maybe there's a place in there for some overload training, and depending on what your preferences are, maybe a strongman lifter. It'd be like Ray-Ban shorts on steroids is what I would call them. So, and I think some of competitions that sort of thing would be allowed.
Make sure it's an untested federation if you're wearing those.
At least make sure they're not testing your warm pants.
Testing your briefs.
Yeah. So thank you, Spud Inc. And who else do you think this is brought to you by here?
I can give you one of 5 guesses now.
I'm going to go with the Strength Co., our friends over at the Strength Co.
All right.
Grant Brogy, Strength Co. out of California. They recognized an iron shortage here. What was it, 2020? Is that when the iron shortage was? I believe
that was when the historic iron shortage was.
He recognized that. He saw an opportunity to bring back cool made in America plates, iron plates, Olympic iron plates, and he did just that. Not only did he just bring them back, but he basically outdid himself. He brought back...
he was like, I want you back. And the plate showed up. Dude. He started like dancing and like, whoa.
Was that the NSYNC song that I made the meme of?
Yeah, it was.
That looks so old.
That looks like it's from the 80s. And is it from the early 2000s?
I would guess it's like 2002. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Is it like 99?
It could be 99. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But still, that video, you can tell there was not a big budget on that one. That budget got significantly bigger by the time they got to Bye.
But much like Justin Timberlake, Grant Brogy's a really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Good voice, good singing voice too. But they started making these iron plates, and they've become the go-to plates here at Massenomics Gym, of course, and they've become the go-to plates of everyone, all of our supporting members. We see it at their home gyms everywhere, and starting to fill up gyms all over the place. They're all the starting strength gyms that are popping up are loaded to the nines with these plates, and They make everything from down the 1 1/4s, of course, the 2.5 dimes, nickels, quarters.
It makes things
plates.
better than they are in real life.
Just came out with the 35s. Maybe we'll talk more about that later.
If he's lucky.
Yep, and they've got Hondus. So check them out. Head out to their site and grab you some.
Sweet.
We have a lot of stuff today, Tommy, don't we?
Like always, there's no shortage of things to cover.
Are going to announce, we're not doing this yet, but just so everyone knows, we are going to announce. I hold in my hand. We both hold in our hands.
The winners. I had to move them. I don't want anyone screenshotting
The giant check is right over here, and it is there is a name on the giant check written in permanent marker already.
If the camera was to fall, it could point.
Yes, and you guys would
but
know.
Luckily, there's no reason the camera should fall.
But we are going to talk about that today, and we are, for those listening along live on the Discord, our supporting members, we are going to talk about that before we cut you off today. So fear not.
Assuming our guest doesn't say they need to talk early.
Well, things have happened before. But we are going to talk about that.
Yes,
and
we are.
We also have a box segment, a what's in the can.
And some fun banter.
So speaking of fun banter.
Did we ever talk about, okay, we've mentioned party buses on the podcast before, and
sure.
I could not remember. Did some people say that was like an unknown concept or that didn't exist?
Oh,
in certain
like
parts?
other people don't know? Because it's very common here, right?
Yes, and I couldn't remember if I was making that up, because it seems like if it's such a common thing here, it has to exist everywhere.
Yeah.
But I could not remember. So basically, I'll explain it, and maybe the Discord can set me straight. But a very common thing that people do here is you get a party bus. Typically, it's an old school bus that has been like pretty much stripped out on the inside. They might have some seats. Usually the seats are against the wall facing towards the aisle.
Yep.
And they usually have like a stripper pole or two in them, a lot of lights, and then just loud music.
Speakers.
Yep.
Some are done really well. Some are pretty half-assed.
There's varying degrees
They all
of
kind of
quality
work for the same purpose.
So basically the point is you pay, a few $100, and the bus driver takes you wherever you want to go for a few hours.
Yep.
And you bring your coolers on, you drink heavily.
You get on the bus and drink a whole bunch until you get to the next bar.
No, usually what you do is you pregame before the bus gets there. Then when the bus arrives, you bring all of your coolers and beverages you have with you on the bus. And then the bus usually drives like 30 minutes to get you to the next location in some small town bar. Usually
where you hurry up and drink real quick before you get
hit
back
up a bunch
on
of
the
small
bus.
town bars. So you get on, which is usually enough time to like have one drink and like maybe a shot. And then it's all right, everyone get on the bus. You start screaming, everyone gets on. You go to the next small town bar and you do like 3 to 5 stops, just depending on how much time you have.
So then you also you have to like slam your beers when you're on the bus, and then someone's also passing around like there's 3 different bottles of like liquor.
Yep.
They'll be like, here's some McGillicuddy's cherry McGillicuddy's.
And there's like a bottle of Fireball.
Take a swig of it, or else we disown you. And you're like, oh, okay.
So that's going on. Yeah. And then you run into the bar. You got to hurry up and drink your beverage so you can get back on the bus so that you can drink another beverage again.
A point of clarification, someone said drive 30 minutes in Aberdeen. Well, what you do here a lot of times is you go to several small towns.
Yeah, you go to the small town bars. So by the time you get through Aberdeen, you get out on the highway, you get to wherever you're going. Yeah, I think we did our stops. We did Warner, Groton, and then I think after Groton we came back to Aberdeen, I believe.
I've done a number of them.
Oh yeah, I've done. Yeah, I've hit up. I've hit up numbers. But I was trying to tell this to Ryan. I thought some people had said that they were never that didn't exist where they were at, which seems crazy.
Noticed people, some New York people mentioned, and they've got it. Las Vegas said they did. That you bring it up. I've got one funny little party bus anecdote. This was on a friend of mine. I was the best man, and it was part of his bachelor party. Where this is a very common bachelor party scenario.
Very common bachelor party. Yep.
And I was groomsman. I think I was the best man even, and we had left Groton, and like not 100% uncommon at this this is towards the end of the route, and everyone's pretty intoxicated. Well, pee breaks, but there's also there's maybe like some vandalism that went on outside of
that can happen too with this.
And I think there was an issue with some bikes that were outside of like the Groton bar that maybe got wrecked. I quite honestly, I didn't do it, and I wasn't even aware of the scenario. So we got 5 miles out of town, and the party bus gets pulled over by the cops. And like they go to first of all, they go to open. he opens the bus door and beer bottles literally like
Start rolling
roll out of the thing. And then like I'm in the back and someone flags me up like that I am the one that has to deal with this for whatever reason.
Yeah,
like,
we elect you to be our delegate
yeah.
here.
So I have to go talk to the cop, and he's like, the cop was I was also very drunk, and he goes, he wants the bikes. Like apparently there's stolen bikes
Like
at
this
this
bargaining
point.
that needs to
Yeah,
happen.
and the cop is like, yeah, we just want the bikes back. And I've been on this bus. There's no bikes on it, but I am like, okay. So I go back in the bus, and this is a story that a lot of us retell frequently because I'm like, I go on and like everyone's quiet at this point for the most part and looks at me, and I'm like, with shrugging hands, I'm like, he wants the bikes back. Like, does anyone have any bikes? And everyone's like, no, there's no bikes. So I go back out and be like, we have no bikes. Yeah. And
You say I'm gonna have to strip search every one of you.
like it went back and forth like this for a while. I'm like, please come on, there's no bikes on here. And I think nobody got in trouble at the end of it, if I remember right. But I just remember coming on the bus and be like, guys, he wants the bikes back.
Yeah, when you're on a bus, it's hard to hide a bike. It's not the easiest.
Yeah,
place
but there
to
was
hide
certainly vandalism that went on, and that was like at the heart of it. And I'm not encouraging vandalizing anyone's bike. But also when you're really drunk on a party bus, are there really rules?
No, it kind of feels like the rules of the world don't apply. Yeah, I've seen some odd things happen on a party bus and with the party bus crowd. But where I was going with this is, so party bus, whether people are familiar with that or not, if we ever do a local Massenomics meetup, a party bus would be a great way
for sure
for all of the for the Discord crew to really experience the greater
We
countryside.
could bring on a flat of pounders.
Oh, we'd bring a lot of flats of pounders.
We could go top shelf at the zoo.
Oh, that's where you end, though.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
That's true.
Yeah, you can go to they can hit up all the small town bars, really get to feel what the region's like.
Yeah, what the whole greater Western Northeast South Dakota is all about.
So we'll put that on the imaginary to-do list for all that.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that day.
So party buses, they're overrated or underrated? This is impromptu.
I still think they're underrated. They're underrated.
They certainly have their time and place.
They do.
Guess,
No, yeah, it's not something you want to be doing every weekend or really even every month
or
for
sober.
that matter. No. Felt bad for my wife. She was sober on this one.
Can't say that I've ever done that, nor would
either.
I. I would actually refuse to go along if I had to be sober because that would be incredibly not fun to deal with all the other people.
It would be so bad. Like the level of stupidity people get to at some point there. So Tanner, this leads me into my next thing. I have a special sack segment for you.
Oh, you have a sack segment.
I have a special sack segment for you.
Oh,
Ready?
all right. But it's not a can.
No, it's not a can. This is a sack segment.
Okay.
It's an Athleta bag, but that's not what it is. It's not. So
that's good because I don't know what Athleta is. So
it's like women's yoga clothing. So go ahead,
so
open it up.
It's very, very light.
Very light.
Are you sure there's anything in this?
Yeah, go ahead, open it up.
It looks empty.
Oh, that's because the cooler doesn't exist, so I couldn't buy one to give you.
Oh, the cooler doesn't exist?
The cooler does not exist anymore.
There is. Now that you mention it, there is not a cooler with. You're saying cooler with a K.
The world's only cooler within a cooler.
Now that you can see for yourself, there is not a cooler within a cooler inside of this bag.
Yeah, it's alarming, isn't it?
Yes.
How are you going to keep your pre, post, and other beverages cold?
Not 100% shocked that you say that. I haven't dug into it like I tell now that you have, but I've been kind of suspicious that was the case.
I forgot it existed until Ryan, I think it was when we were on the party bus, goes, oh, you should, I think he mentioned, you should get a cooler on the podcast. I'm like, I'm going to, tomorrow when I wake up, go buy a cooler and surprise Tanner with a cooler because it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I type it in and this product seemed unusually hard to find. Where like Amazon, it's out of stock. I think Walmart was out of stock. And then.
So the cooler, for anyone that doesn't know, is Stan Effert. One of Stan Efferting's. Was he on Shark Tank for the cooler?
Yes. So he was peddling this pretty hard. He made a deal with Damon John.
Yeah.
We interviewed him at the Arnold in front of his cooler booth. Like he did a lot of stuff for it. We actually talked to him about being on the cooler or on the Shark Tank when he was on the podcast.
Right.
And according to SharkTankBlog.com, which I haven't really checked my sources, but I got to assume that they're the authority on all things Shark Tank. They're kind of explaining it. Their numbers shocked me, actually. At the time, everything Shark Tank numbers seemed pretty large. It said When Stan went on the show, he was seeking $50,000 for 15% of his cooler business, which what would that put him at? Like 750,000 ish, or not even that much, right?
No, under 500.
Yeah, under 500. Sorry.
Yeah.
So under that, which
I don't know. Yeah.
like making things out of plastic isn't cheap, so it seemed like not a lot. But then, anyways, what happens is, and he also said he sold about $120,000 worth in 16 months, half online and half at GNC. Damon then went on to offer him $50,000 for 33% of the company. He doubled it, doubled Stan's ask, and Stan accepted. Now, the Shark Tank update said they went on.
Have they been bought out by Pillar 4? Is that where this is headed?
No, not yet. It said, he had the whole thing. They had some products on HSN and Bed Bath & Beyond. And then, where the hell are we at here? It said the company claimed they were rolling out in 7,000 Walgreens in spring of 2019. The next paragraph then says the product had some production issues that caused leakage, and it has some bad reviews. If he can fix these issues, the rollout to Walgreens should be fine. The next paragraph. Apparently, the issues couldn't be fixed. As of June 2021, the company is out of business. TheCooler.com redirects to StanEfferding.com, where he sells all of his various things, and there's no mention of the cooler on the site. And I could not find any mention of the cooler on his actual website.
Okay, so the cooler is...
Yep, so if you type in the cooler, it does take you to Stan Efferding, and on there, you see the vertical diet, his meals, whoever he has.
I'm pretty
those
sure
with.
over the life of the Massenomics podcast, we've talked about the cooler several times, a bunch of times. I mean, not
it's
recently,
like the
but
Russian stacking doll. Stacking dolls of coolers.
It's coolerception. Cooler. We always thought what there really needed to be to take it to the next level, obviously, is a cooler within a cooler. Within a cooler.
Yeah, it just keeps getting bigger and smaller both ways. Like he didn't go enough, I think was his problem. So he was very quiet about that disappearing.
Yeah. The disappearing cooler within a cooler.
Yeah. So it still exists. It's still.
I was really hoping
listings are still out there, but from what I could see in some quick looks, the main spots, it all says no stock.
Okay. I was really hoping for the twist ending Pillar 4 buyout acquisition.
No, unfortunately, not this time.
Not this time.
So I guess we have some closure on the coolers. Another business we outlasted there.
That's true. Also,
we'll put that on the pile.
So Damon got in valuing that company at $150,000. Like that's pretty small potatoes, isn't it?
I know. Like, I guess it's weird because Shark Tank now it feels like
it's
of
evolved
the things are
a little.
big.
Yeah, yes. There's a lot of
in the beginning they were doing deals for like $10,000 on things.
Yeah. Well, and also like, I need 51% of the company. Like so often in the really early seasons, they're like, no, I got to own like the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Like they're just
like, I'm just buying this from you. And I'll probably just like let it die and I'll give you some cash now, I guess. But
it's my cooler. I want it now.
Yeah. I guess not enough people thought that.
What about a what's in the can segment?
Let's do it. Do I need to shield my eyes?
Nope.
No?
These come pre-shielded.
Whoa. Okay.
And a fun little deal. I don't know what's in these.
Really?
These are actually, I know what make this is, but not the flavor. This is a new flavor.
Okay.
And this is courtesy of my wife.
Yep. I don't want to look too much, but I do see that the top of the can is pink.
Yeah. Yeah. This is courtesy of my wife. She said there's a new flavor and you guys need to try this. So shout out my wife.
Wow. Whoa. There is something going on there.
Usually if your response is, that's not the best.
Well, I just got hit with like, for sparkling water, there's a lot of aftertaste going on here. Isn't there?
Yeah, like not necessarily in a good way.
It changes like 2 or 3 times on you.
Yeah, it does. Quite honestly, when it mellows out, it hits you like
there's almost another kick on it.
Yeah.
I am really struggling with this. Like that second kick. At first, I thought I smelled something kind of fruity.
So this is a LaCroix's new flavor. I think newest flavor.
Boy, it's got to be berry vanilla. I don't know.
See, I'm
Mixed berry vanilla.
Oh, I think that's it. So I think someone knows.
Spilled the beans. In
Yeah,
there.
that makes sense to me.
Maybe that could be it. Then I saw it too.
He says, Big Alex says
So do
cherry
we take a
blossom.
look? Do we take a look? Is it?
I feel
cherry
like it
blossom?
could be. That's what it could be, don't you?
That would be
Because
believable.
there's floral nodes.
Yep, cherry blossom. There it is. Wow. Yeah, the floral. The floral is what really sends you for a loop, isn't it?
Once again, I do not like the floral
No.
concept in my beverages.
No, it doesn't.
Cherry blossom.
See, and now this is where I'll try to justify my poor excuse. Cherry, berry. I was getting some fruit thing,
And they
but there was
rhyme.
something weird. They rhyme, so put some close. But there was something weird at the end, and I didn't know if it was way too strong of vanilla
the
flavoring.
blossom.
But it was not the vanilla because there was none. It was the blossom. Of course, it's the blossom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggle with blossom. That's not.
I don't like
Not
any
high
of
on
these
my
that
desired
are.
flavor list.
So this is cherry blossom. What are you going to give it?
Like 2.5, maybe.
I would give it a 2.5.
Yeah.
Nothing above that.
Yeah, that's all it gets. Ooh.
Okay. Should we get to what everyone's been wanting us to get to? Should we hit this up here?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we delay a little bit longer.
We'll have a revolt on our hands.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So we had our Massenomics reveal contest.
And people have to. We should also say before we get started that this is the most scientific, calculated breakdown we've ever done on this.
Yes, if you're watching along, you can see how tiny the text is on this piece of paper right here. But this was the contest inspired by none other than Scance, Massenomics Grandpa, Massenomics Mole. Shout out Scance. It was, inspired by his garage
Just months
gym
in the making.
door
You
reveals.
could almost say years in the making, really.
It really was years in the making, and everyone needed to submit their favorite or best or coolest reveal to us, and it was left a little bit open-ended. People could do whatever they wanted. And what we did is we compiled them all. We had 50 plus entries, and each of the three of us, you, Tommy, me, and Scance, we each rated each of these videos on a scale from 1 to 5 JD Power and Associates awards, the exact same scale we use for our What's in the Can segment. And we did that blind, independent of knowing what each of us
got to match up
scored.
our numbers at the end.
Yeah, and then we matched them up.
And
And,
it was surprising how much overlap we had.
yep,
There was only a couple videos that had more than 1 point
in variance amongst
yes.
any of the three of us. And we stayed true to the scoring system. What we used the average then that
Yeah, we actually had
throwback to mean median mode as heard on prior episodes.
We created the actual average, and we could have manipulated it, but we didn't.
We chose
let
not
the
to because I guess we're the three of us were in charge of the show, so we could have done what we wanted to, but we thought that the most fair thing to do was stick by the numbers.
And I think the numbers don't lie here. I think the numbers worked out.
Yep. And yes, this was done on a spreadsheet also. There was some spreadsheets sending back and forth and getting this updated. So how do we go about what we did, we're having the grand prize winner. That person wins the $69 giant check, what we've got over here with that person's name on it right now. Then we've kind of got a first run, the runner up. Then we've got a few people in tier, I don't know, you call that tier 3 or the next.
Yeah, they would be the third place tie, basically.
And then a few people in the
Fourth place
tie. And those people are all going to be receiving Massenomics gift cards for the online store. And the amount of the gift card goes along with that level that they landed in. And we literally kept it by these people in the same tiers had the exact same average score. So it works out pretty nicely. And there ends up being 10 winners total.
Yes.
So how do we go from the bottom up?
I think we do. So we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people had a four-way tie for fourth.
Yeah, they actually, and what they scored was a 4.16 repeating.
Six repeating, yeah.
Yep.
So do we kick it off?
Yeah,
with the
I
first
guess
one here?
just drum roll on who's the first, and what are so this group of people is going to be receiving. They'll all be receiving $35 Massenomics gift cards in this first group of 5.
So first up, first winner of the Massenomics reveal contest is Connor King.
Connor King, he did
Working
his
hard, hardly working, matching outfits with him and his
big guy.
Him and his big guy.
Yes, very good video. He went above and beyond the prep on this video, getting these custom working hard, hardly working shirts made. I really liked this one. It's funny that all 10 of these were basically in the running for winning. And maybe we'll mention this after the fact, but there's like another 6 more that were just below these 10.
Like a tenth
Yeah.
of a point below.
So there's like 16 that were all within this ballpark of actually winning, but it's just the 10. But so that's our first one. Connor King, working hard, hardly working. Great video.
Very well done. Next one in the tie for 4th place, Big Joe Gray, Wrecking Ball.
Yep.
And man, Joe was putting himself out there on this one.
Yeah, the old he's just being Miley, wasn't he?
He's just being Miley.
Big Joe, last week's guest of the Massenomics podcast.
What a reveal to like just, you're just minding your own business and then boom, there's a guy
He comes in
swinging
like
on
a
a
wrecking ball.
in his gym.
So he will also receive the $35 gift card. Big Joe, congratulations. Then the next one is, drum roll please, our first Canadian to grace the winning circle. That's important because Scance himself is, of course, Canadian, is Big Tyler. Lift Hard, Live Easy Tyler. And his was, I don't know what
Our code name was Massenomics Outfits.
Yeah, he went through quite a series of outfits, and it was just like a really, really well put together video.
It was
like
just
it was
polished.
just a fun.
It was snappy.
Yeah.
It was fun. It kept going along, and it was pretty true to the Scance fashion of
Right.
things.
He ripped out a Jefferson deadlift at the end and stuff. Really good, good looking video though, wasn't it? So congrats, Big Tyler.
Next up on the list, we have Big David, Massenomics numero uno. The well-dressed blonde man appears.
And Tommy, this is probably a personal favorite of yours as a How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, as a How I Met Your Mother fanatic.
Yeah. But I did really like that one. It was actually weird, almost uncanny how well, like, I'm just curious how conceptually he came up with that, almost even like that it hit him like he saw this clip and he's like, oh yeah, I could peel in all these different clips of Scance. And I'm like, it really went together really nicely. And it's just, that was really creative. And that was one of those ones that definitely was way outside of something we would have ever imagined going into this contest.
Yeah, you're not expecting people to grab footage from existing stuff like that and tie it into the video.
I think Big David, previous winner of contests before also, if I'm remembering that correctly. So he's back in the winner circle. Then we've got one more in this level, correct?
We got one more in this level. And this one was actually one of my top videos, but we talked averages. It's a contest of averages, not Tommy's favorite.
Right.
So this was one of my favorites. Big Matt, mostly squats videos. Maybe if you were someone else, he doesn't think he can win it as himself, so he shows if he was other people. The first one right off the bat, when he's showing swim hack and pro total specialist con, what was it, like higher probability of mercury poisoning?
Yeah.
Like that is so stupid and funny. And then he goes through several different people. If you're in the Discord, you're familiar with all of them. And then finally he ends with Big Lou Nutter, and I thought that was awesome. He nailed everyone's look, and it made me laugh. That was a good one. But that rounds out the four-way tie, or the 5-way tie for 4th place.
You know what I'm just realizing?
What?
Someone is on here twice.
Oh.
And
yeah, I didn't realize that either until right now.
I don't think we want to give them twice. So I think what we should do, we move the next person up.
Yep, I think you're right.
So that's how true to the score we went. Even we were really not even thinking about the names. We were just thinking about the individual videos.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
So like what you said, Matt was our last $35, our tier winner there. Actually, we're going to bump one of those people up. We'll get to that, but let's bump the next person into the $35 winning tier. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
So, so this person it's your lucky day. You just became a winner just because of this. But there's actually 3 people tied.
I know.
So let me look. Which one individually had the highest? That is tough. Which one's considered a winner there?
It's very tough.
Yeah,
I would say either the top one or the bottom one, right?
Yep. So, all right.
Some on the fly number crunching's going on here.
So, Big Jen, it's your lucky day. You just got bumped in as a winner.
With her Seinfeld references.
Yes, Big Jen did her really good Seinfeld references. There was some. If you're a Seinfeld fan, you'd love that one. If you don't know Seinfeld, you'd probably left a little wondering. But I am a big Seinfeld fan, so I of course like that one. Big Jen, you are a $35 winner now.
And that just shows how a tenth of a point can make all the difference here.
Yes, and I guess we won't say who just got screwed out of potentially also winning there. So then going back up to the fifth. So this is the next tier. This is in the $50 gift card winners. And David Hunter, who we had previously mentioned, he's not a $35 winner for that video. He's a $50 winner for his how to create a scant style reveal. Mm-hmm. Where he leads off with the record player and, ends with him on his, he was the first person to really play into the scants being short part of that.
Yep. He nailed it. That was the total how-to on how to do it.
So great job on that one. Then what do we got? 2 more in this class.
Yeah. Next one. This one also wins the award for the most people involved.
Yeah.
That was the Sharp Dress Man, Texas Power Bars, Eddie and crew.
Yeah, whoever wants to really, I guess if Eddie, you orchestrated that, I suppose you're the $50 winner, unless you think it should be someone else. We'll listen to you on that. But that was a good one. That's really cool. That came together really well for having that many people shoot different video across
and
like
ZZ Top thing. That was funny.
It was really good. I mean, I was pretty impressed with that one. Then our last $50 winner is a South Dakota man, Big Chris. He had the Sabotage Beastie Boys montage of his kid truck pulling, Jefferson deadlifting, and
slapping chalk around, screaming, flexing.
And it was kind of in the vein of the actual music video, right?
Yep.
And that was just, you don't have to make a high production quality video to win these contests, but that was like a really good video. If you've seen it, there's no doubt.
I guess like the actual video, aren't they kind of like cops chasing or running away? But either way, it was kind of like the whole like quick zooms and all this.
Right,
It felt like a music video. Like it felt like it was in a music video style.
Right.
So great job there.
Congrats. Former member of Judd Who's, also as heard on the Massenomics podcast, and maker of the Who's Juice.
Who's Juice.
Also appearing on What's in the Can.
Which I can tell you is significantly better than Cherry Blossom.
Much better. Who's Juice was good.
I don't think I can finish this. I'm getting thirsty from talking, but it is not enjoyable.
So our first runner-up, is that where we're at now then?
First runner-up, final 2.
The first runner-up, you are the winner of a $75 Massenomics gift card. And it is Big Kevin. Big Kevin, who we got to meet at the Arnold this year, correct?
Yep.
And it was for he had a couple good submissions, but this was for his hiking streaker, oh my God, video, which it was good. Really good video.
And I don't know, is his girlfriend, his wife? I don't know.
Something.
Acquaintance.
Just some random hiker. Maybe it really was.
Random woman.
Yeah.
Walking through the woods. He's standing there back to the camera with his robe on, flips it open. She says, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And then it zooms in closer on her. And she had, "Oh my God." And then it cuts to him and he's in full Massenomics attire. And it has the Giga Chad like face on him or whatever it is.
Why do I mean, I've seen that. I know what that is, but I don't really know what that is.
It's
like,
just
as far as I don't know what
it's just the meme of,
right. But like, who is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't actually know what the story
Right.
behind it is.
Okay. I mean, I obviously get it, and I kind of even know what the like.
Yeah. I'm actually know your meme here. I didn't there's a full story behind this, but that's for another time.
Is Big Kevin not on the Discord? I thought he was. I don't know.
I thought he was too.
Maybe he's not.
Maybe we just thought he was in spirit.
Okay. If not, he should get on the
He can buy
Discord.
a supporting
Yes.
membership with his gift card.
I actually don't know if you can.
I think you're right. I don't think you can buy subscription items
Yeah,
with
I
a
don't
gift card because then when it expires, it doesn't have any way to charge you.
Right. So that's not true. But you could logically
You could sell the Massenomics gift card.
Yeah.
Take that money, put it in his bank account, and then sign up.
Or
to
you
become
just
a member.
play this mind thing where you know things are earmarked and you say, well, because I got to buy these shirts with my gift card, now I can afford to buy the
There you
supporting
go.
membership. It's
Yep.
just that's how you trick yourself into spending
I'm
more
like
money on
sitting
things.
up higher. I need to
Yeah.
spend that money to bring me where I
It's
need
a
to
classic financial planner taught me that one time.
be. Classic accounting trick.
Yeah. And then the grand prize winner, and this was Scance only gave one video a 5.
This played pretty heavy on it. We're like, wow, if Scance gave one video a 5.
Yes.
I mean, that's got to mean something, right?
Yes, this is the one that he gave a 5. And any guesses on the Discord who the number one is here? Because you could guess someone we haven't even mentioned yet and isn't going to win because there still is 5 to 10 other ones that all could be winners here, I think.
There's a few names popping in.
Yeah, there's...
We see the words Nate. We see the words
Nate's-
Joey. We see the words Nate.
all good guesses. There's actually some other good ones in here that people
First
haven't.
name is Big, someone guessed.
Yeah.
That's not a bad guess either.
So the winner, Tommy?
The winner is...
Oh, maybe I should grab the check.
Oh, our guest is calling. We got to go. Tanner's grabbing the check so we can hold it up in person. Here it comes. The winner is Big Joey. Congratulations. You are the winner. Let's get some action here. Nope. There we go. You're the winner. The crowd goes wild. And is it a conflict of interest that our head Canadian judge picked a Canadian? Maybe. Maybe it was.
And I think, Big Joey's original score was only like a 2.1, but after you convert it from metric, he actually had the winning score.
Our rating scale was 1 to 3, but Scance could go 1 to 50, so it really brought it up. No, it was all fair, 1 to 5s.
Yep.
Tanner and I, this was both one of our top ranked videos as well, but Scance knew this
Scance was the definitive with him giving the 1.5 rating. It's got to be the winner. So there are several we didn't get to talk about here that we're really close to, but
well, we do got to mention though. So Joey's video, the annoyed wife,
right, yeah. What it was?
I think there's probably a lot of guys in the Discord that their wives probably relate to that video.
Yes.
Well, there's probably been guys that relate to that video because they've going through the whole thing of the Massenomics thing again. Okay.
We do now have to figure out how to get this 6-foot check to Canada.
Yeah, that's presenting some logistical concerns.
I will say, we even thought, should we not make him the winner so we do not have to ship this
we
to
did
Canada?
say that. We could just switch first and second place
And we thought
to make life easier for
we
ourselves.
could do that, but that's not the right spirit of
Yep.
this contest.
Yep, we have to be true to our word here.
Yep. So we're going to figure it out. We don't care what it costs us, unless it's more than what our budget
the
is.
$69 check just keeps getting more and more expensive.
Yes. We did never say that he gets a real check to go along with it.
True. So, great job, Joey. Great job, everyone. I think you were mentioning, Tanner, that there were some great runner-ups or some great honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut.
I'll just name a few that were next on the list. Big Ryan, Big Austin, Big Chris, Big Nate had 2 of them that were right up there. Big Corey, Big Cody, Big Lou, Big Susan did a good pole dancing one there. That's of note. Big Jeff, I like the financial planning route there. Big Steven, Big Brand. I think this was his first week. Also, welcome, Big Brand. I think he was listening live this week. He had mentioned it was his first live listen. And Big Rich, Big Cam got in there, Big Dylan, Big Jake, Big Keith, Big Eric. I missed some other ones in here, but
Yeah.
you know,
There's a lot.
there was a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
So if I didn't mention your name, I also apologize. But everyone did great. And I think the real winners here are all of us, right? The crew.
The crew is the real winner here.
Yeah. So great contest.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Lots
Congrats,
of fun.
winners.
Lots
We had
of
a
fun
good time.
seeing that
Yep.
action go down.
Yep. Before we get on our guest,
I got to read ads too.
yeah, and I should I do supporting our supporting members?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe we have to do ads after. I don't know, because we can't really miss supporting our supporting members, can we?
Nope, we can't miss that.
Because it was a big week for supporting members.
It was.
First of all, Big Jeff did his meet, did a powerlifting meet. He went 9 for 9, squatted 363, benched 297, and deadlifted 457. 9 for 9 meet, 27 for 27 on white lights. Great meet, Big
Sweet.
Jeff. He really planned that one out right, didn't he?
Yeah.
Next one is Big Murph. Her first meet, she went 8 for 9 and got second place in her class.
Damn.
So congrats on the first meet. Big Scance, who obviously we've been talking about here at the competition, took second in his strongman competition. And of course, I have to assume that was in the master's class, right?
You would assume,
Yep.
but
Big Noah competed in a grip competition and won.
oh really? I missed that
Yeah,
one.
Big Noah won his grip competition. And then Big Joseph did his first meet, went 9 for 9, had a lot of fun, set some good numbers and some benchmarks for him. So congrats, Jeff, Murph, Scance, Noah, Joseph, all competing
You
this
forgot
last
one.
weekend.
Big Brandon. Mr. Brandon Diamond Campbell himself.
Oh yeah, actually great call. Big Brandon competed. He went 8 for 8 or 7 for 8. He declined his last bench, but did he miss one lift?
That's what I can't. That's what.
Yeah,
I
he
thought.
got
missed it.
his first squat. He missed on
Yes,
depth.
yeah, because he took his.
So he went
took his-
7 for 8. He squatted 606.
I
and he pulled
know.
like something good, like 620, 630. His bench was maybe like 325. His squat at 606. And he only weighed 214.
I saw that.
Pretty sure Brandon's like my height, isn't he?
Yeah, that's very lean.
Yeah.
Because I think he said it was, what is it, like a PR squat or it
Yeah.
like ties a squat, but he's in like 15 pounds lighter or something like that.
Yeah. Really strong squatting.
That's
like,
I mean, really strong total in general.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
that's a-
yeah.
That's
Actually-
a great meet.
yes. Really good meet. And he's been on Juggernaut AI, of course, been running that.
It's on that Jug Life.
Effectively and well, obviously. So congrats to all 6 of those then. And that was our supporting member segment. It's a relatively new segment that we do where we have our supporting members. They're our Discord crew, our unpaid interns. They give to us through supporting us financially through this podcast membership platform. And we like to give back to them a little bit every week by showing them some support. So if you're ever interested in joining, all you got to do is, where do you go to?
You go to massenomics.com/join.
You can get joined up there. There's multiple different levels. They're all pretty reasonably priced.
Very
Actually, the
reasonably
highest
priced.
ones are not reasonably priced. The highest ones are very, very
Well, with
expensive.
inflation and everything going
That's-
on, those are still pretty modest.
Yeah, supply chain issues and stuff too.
And then
yeah.
you can get in there and be a part of a very active Discord community, catch the podcast live, and get called out on supporting our supporting members.
So, yep.
And also feed us facts for when we don't know what we're talking about.
It is helpful for that.
Pop memes in on the screen to distract us while we're talking.
Oh,
Things
someone
like that.
asked how much did Joey win? He won the $69 check. It's the giant check. He also won a $75 gift card as well. So
Yeah.
you almost can't put a number on those things.
No,
except for the
you
numbers
cannot.
that we literally put on them.
Except for the actual number value attached to both of them. But sure, with the conversion rate, there's something that he's either going to win
Yeah.
big or lose big on there.
Yep. Okay.
Should I read these ads?
Let's do it.
This episode of the Massenomics podcast is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded Swiss Link. He had a partner based in Switzerland, and their mission was to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Over the years, that mission expanded to nations across Europe and beyond. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items for military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for Swiss Link, he brings in everything you can imagine, from Czech Army bedpans to Italian champagne glasses. At SwissLink.com, you can find classic military surplus uniforms, a great selection of military-issue backpacks, tools, wool blankets, NATO fuel cans, gas masks, emergency food, first aid kits, survival packs, camping gear, and so much more. SwissLink's unrivaled collection and dedication to quality customer service sets them apart from the rest. Treat yourself to the real thing with authentic military surplus and save 15% off your first order from SwissLink.com with the code MASS at checkout. That's SwissLink, SwissLink.com. Thank you, SwissLink and Texas Power Bars.
I want someone to buy a NATO fuel can and use the discount code and tag us in a photo with the NATO fuel can. That would be cool beans. Now should we get our guest on the line? Say goodbye to the Discord.
I think we can say bye, Discord. And now this whole thing is wrapped up, do we tell them now that maybe Scance wasn't actually the mole the whole time?
Ooh.
Do we just leave that cliffhanger there? Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Hello?
Yeah, Marisa, is that you?
It is me.
Awesome. You're live on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy.
What's up, Marisa?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
We're good over here. We're excited to get you on. Thanks to your coach, Chad. He hooked it up for us, so we kind of owe both of you one for that.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad to be on. I mean, I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you might hold your review until the end. Don't want to put that in too soon.
That's all right. You're not the only person here that doesn't know what we're going to talk about. So just kidding. We come in with kind of a plan. First thing I actually wanted to talk to you about is IPF Worlds coming up here. Is that that's soon, right? Is that like within a month now?
Yeah, it's like 5 weeks out.
So this year it's where?
In Sun City, South Africa.
Okay.
So it was in South Africa in 2014, and that was in Ponchesum, which was like a little bit outside of Johannesburg. Terrible, terrible place. Where they had the meet, it was like we were warming up on plywood platforms outside by space heaters on the grass.
For a world championship.
Sounds
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you'd expect, right?
Yeah, it just goes to show you how far powerlifting has come.
Wow.
Yeah. So this year it's in Sun City, which is way, way nicer. It's like very like resort kind of area.
Okay. And but is it like, is it like a 20 some hour plane ride to get there? Like how long does it take to get to South Africa?
Yeah, I think the total travel time is about 25 hours.
Ooh, okay. So like when will you plan on getting there? And then what day of the week do you plan on getting there? And what day of the week do you compete? How much time do you give yourself to hang out and like not feel terrible from being in a plane for a day?
Yeah, so I think I'm like different than most people. Most people fly out and try to have like 3 days of like getting acclimated. I kind of do the opposite. I don't like being there like too long beforehand. So we are flying out, I want to say like on a Friday, getting there like I think Saturday or Sunday because of the time change difference. And I compete Tuesday.
So like, is jet lag a factor for you at all? Because it's got to be close to like 12 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, so it kind of is, but I've noticed, so like the first time I went to South Africa, I went like days in advance and I wasn't like eating my regular food. And I literally went from 114 pounds, which is the weight class I compete in, down to like 104 in a matter of a couple of days. And like, it was rough. And then when I competed in Belarus, which was also like a very long flight, our flights got delayed. I think we got in like at 2:00 in the morning, and then I competed like the next like afternoon. And I won that year. So I just feel like I just do better when I'm not like having too many days in advance to think about things. And
right. And
yeah.
So you're kind of ranked by like a qualifying total going into it. Is it seeded in a way like that, or just kind of everyone's aware of the qualifying totals? Is that how that works? I'm not really.
Yeah. So they rank you by like how you do at nationals, and that's the qualifying total that, you know, when you see like that start list for Worlds, it's ranked by what you did at nationals. So, I mean, for me, we went in at nationals and just did
what you needed to.
What I needed to do. So yeah. I'm going in obviously ranked pretty low. I want to say like probably 7th or 8th going into IPF Worlds, but that's also because I didn't put up a total that I'm capable of doing. We just did what we needed to do to win because there was such a quick turnaround. It just didn't make sense to go all out to have a crazy high qualifying total only to have to get back under heavyweight and do it all over again. I mean, I'm going to be 46. I'm the oldest competitor by like a ton. I think the next person closest to me is 7 years younger. So I'm not trying to have like a high qualifying total to go in just for no reason.
Well, and so that rank, I mean, is it just a number next to your name, or does it change anything with how the meet actually goes?
No, it doesn't change anything with how the meet actually goes. It's just for podcasters and stuff to go, oh, you know, look at this. Like, these are the top 3 people, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I mean, I don't know. I kind of actually like going in being like a bigger underdog, to be honest.
Where do you think is, you know, if 7th or 8th is probably not a great indicator of where you fit in, where would would you wager a number or a position that is more accurate of where you would
top
be?
3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're coming home with hardware then is the plan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, ideally nobody wants to go into competition, not win. Like I would love to win, but it becomes a numbers game. There are like very strong competitors, but there's still a path to victory. I mean, it's like when you're like comparing yourself against other competitors, you're always comparing, and Chad gets on me about this all the time. It's like, you're comparing yourself to their 9 for 9 day. And that's what everyone does. Like, oh, if this person went 9 for 9,
right,
this is what they're capable of. But if I go 9 for 9, and it's like, Worlds is crazy. You just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, every Worlds I've been to, like in 2017 when I won, like everybody was dropping their deadlifts. And it's like, well, then who's going to be able to hold on to win? And it's not like these competitors were dropping their deadlifts every time they competed. It just happened to be like on that platform that day, everybody was dropping their deadlifts. Yeah, they couldn't hold on to the bar.
Right. That's always a more interesting dynamic too, because, you know, lifetime intermediate powerlifters are just kind of more casual fans like us. When we go compete, really the placing, in my mind, the placing irrelevant for all these meets for people like us that go and lift, because it literally just is so dependent on who would show up that day. You know, you could have the best meet of your life and get 10th, or you could have the worst meet of your life and get first because there's nobody else in there. So you literally are just competing against you're just trying to put up your best numbers. But in the case of competing at nationals, worlds, all those stages, it really is about winning in comparison to your number. You know, I assume you don't care. You'd rather hit if you have to pick one or the other, would you rather win first at worlds or hit an all-time PR total? Oh, I think it cut out.
I said I would rather obviously win. I mean,
right.
You're going to win a world championship. No one takes that away from you.
Right.
But I feel like I'm also like a very fierce competitor in the sense that Chad will tell you, like, if it comes down to like, hey, like, do you want to go pull for the win or pull for a number? I'm always going to pull for the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if it's some like crazy number that I've like never tried or done, like, well, I didn't come here to place 4th, 5th, 6th, 3rd. I came here to win. So if that means like I pull for the win and don't make it, I at least tried.
Yep. That makes sense to me. I totally can wrap my head around that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obvious based on our conversation, you went there was this change, this split or whatever with the IPF, USAPL. all that stuff. And we've talked to a couple other people about it, and we're not super in the loop, but you obviously chose to go the Powerlifting America route and the IPF route and be able to compete at Worlds. Was that an easy choice for you?
Yeah, it was super easy choice for me because the best competition for drug tested athletes is through the IPF. USAPL is a great organization, but it's like, I want to compete against other great competitors. I don't want to have to keep doing like a mega nationals where you're just competing against the same people all the time.
Yeah, that's a straightforward way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, they had a great marketing ploy with like, get your pro card, which is cool, but like, okay, well, I don't foresee myself like competing, forever. So it's like, to me, it's like, I'd rather just try to get another world championship under my belt and not, and compete against the best in the world, not just the best in the USAPL.
Yeah. And also like, because I don't fully understand that USAPL circuit thing, but I assume you're not planning on doing 5 meets a year. You're more so on the program of doing like a couple a year. And
for sure.
So that point circuit's not super relevant to people that are not going to be competing all that many times in a given, calendar year either.
No, definitely not. And I think I've been asked before, like, what would it take for like USAPL to like surpass the IPF? And I'm like, well, they have to get international competitors because otherwise it's like, I think even the crowd would get bored with just seeing the same USAPL people constantly competing against one another. And then you have to have money because otherwise what's a pro circuit if you have no money involved? And I'm not talking $2,000. It has to be money that makes people want to come over.
Right. This is like a completely unbased in factual knowledge and just maybe my assumptions as I'm thinking about on the spot. And you'll have a feel for this. You'll know if I'm right or wrong. It seems like on the women's side, maybe the international competition is even better than the men's side. That like the men's side within the United States is real heavy on the top hitters.
It's really deep on the men's side.
Right. And women's, the international is a much bigger stage because so many these other countries also have these really high level lifters. Is that at all accurate or is that just
No, I would tend to agree with you. I also think too, like the US men athletes are also like very vocal on social media and probably a little bit more well known. So there are like a lot of great male athletes in other countries. I just think they're just not as well known.
Yep. Yeah. That would make sense.
I just think the women just tend to be better with social media. So like all of like the international women athletes are just out there a little bit more.
Yep. And you're probably right. And based on mine, that is what I would be seeing. So that makes a lot of sense. We wanted to ask you about something. You're actually the second person we've had on now that has been on our podcast and also been on Ellen. We've had.
We're just really trying to work on our Ellen guest list here. Like,
yeah, we're gonna pick them off one at a time.
Ellen show's a feeder show for us, actually.
So, what year were you on, Ellen, and what was that experience like? What were you on for?
So I want to say 2015, maybe. I was on that, maybe 2014. I honestly don't know. I feel like it was so long ago, but I was on that show for doing pull-ups of all things. And it was a really weird experience because Ellen is not very nice. Which is like
specifically to you, you're saying no, like it wasn't a nice.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't want me to talk about lifting at all.
Oh, really?
It was like, oh, we don't want anyone to get like this impression that they can't do pull-ups. I'm like, well, maybe they can't. Like, I don't know. Like, I lift weights. Yeah, that's what I do. Like,
right.
Yeah. And like, they were very adamant about me like wearing a long sleeve, covering up my arms.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, it was really strange.
We were doing a little research before the show. That did strike me because not that you're like wearing revealing clothing all the time, but I was like, the clothing choices she has on there, like long sleeves, like I don't feel like Marisa wears long sleeves ever, like in videos. So that was odd, but that makes sense now.
Yeah, they wanted me to cover my arms and they wanted me to be more relatable to other stay-at-home moms. I'm like, what? Stay-at-home moms are like,
right?
Yeah, I feel like they're like trying to dumb down the whole thing.
I don't really like that. None of that seems. That doesn't seem good. Like I don't like that take or that stance. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, so it's really weird. But then, like, I know the other guest that you're talking about that they had on, and she got a deadlift.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on here? I didn't even get to talk about it.
That is interesting. I kind of feel like a little bit.
Maybe it's changed since
But yeah, do you
2014.
think that because I could believe that the mentality and the views
Acceptance,
on and acceptance of women lifting has changed quite a bit in the last, well, if we say 8 years, like I think things have changed since then.
Yeah, for sure. That was for sure probably part of it. And maybe it was like, oh, we just want to focus on pull-ups and not like the lifting aspect. I'm like, well, it kind of all goes together because obviously,
because doesn't that seem like it discounts the hard work you put in?
Well, yeah, you're selling a false bag of goods.
Oh no, she's just a natural. She just does this. Like,
she works really hard.
I think they were just very like adamant about me just not looking big and like being like this small kind of dainty mom that can do pull-up dancing. So that part of it kind of sucked because I didn't get to talk about any of that because it's very rehearsed. That's another thing that people don't know. Like I went through like 3-4 different takes with the producers, and it was like, this is what you're saying. Don't ask Ellen to do pull-ups. Don't try to be funnier than her. I'm just like, oh my God.
Really?
And yeah. And so you go through the takes like several times. So I did this whole pull-up routine 3 times before I even got out there because they also didn't have like rights to the song yet. So I had to do it to 3 different songs. And I didn't know till right before I went on, like, oh, this is the song you're going to do. So I had like 3 different routines, like going in my head, not knowing like which one was going to happen. And I was so tired. I was like, oh, I hope I can even do it live now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So did you see like after the show, like, did you notice a bump in social media or just awareness, like traction with kind of your whole thing?
Yeah, honestly, like that was like a big downfall for me because like I didn't have like things out there and like she didn't tag me either. So that kind of sucked. So I think like people found me around the way, but no, I don't think like I definitely didn't take advantage of it as much as I should have because I just wasn't. It all happened so fast. Like that video went viral like within 24 hours. Like I think it was on a Thursday, went viral. Friday, I got the call from Ellen. And on Monday, I was on the show.
That's wild. It's funny. I almost expect someone to say, "Oh, it was so fun," and all this, and it's like,
I assume
you almost think about it like, so like if you had to do it all over again, like, would you want to do it again?
I mean, for sure. I live out here in California, so it's not like it's a. One thing that does kind of suck is like even till this day, like every nationals when like Gina would be like the announcer.
Yeah.
Marisa Inda, that was on Ellen. I'm like, have I not done anything else in life? Like,
to be fair, Gino does get his things and they stick around forever for everyone. So
yeah, right. It's like every meet, every like everything, and it's not just Gino. It's like. Even IPF Worlds, like in the end, like when I watch like the playback, sometimes it's like, and she was on Ellen. I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
That is funny. I mean, we brought it up here, but it's certainly not what we thought. It was more of a little almost like, since it's been so long, it's more of a fun, obscure thing to bring up.
Yeah, it definitely is now. But it's like when I compete, it's kind of like, well, okay, wasn't a former world champion. Never had, not the oldest one here. No, she was on Ellen.
Yeah. No other achievements matter. It's just
no other achievements in life, just Ellen.
I didn't think about the thing though that you guys are both out. It's like, how far is it if you're going to Ellen's show? Like, does it take you hours to get there? Or is it down the road? Like,
so that's like the crazy thing about LA traffic. Things are close, but when there's traffic, it's not close. So, she's out. The studios are in Burbank, California, which is Southern California by LA. So there's a ton of traffic. So if there was no traffic, it's probably a 25-30 minute drive. It took about an hour and 15 minutes to get there. So that day I went there.
That kind of takes some of the magic away of like, oh, like we're not getting whisked away from some part of the country. It's like, no, I'm just driving down the road.
If they're flying us out from Western Northeast South Dakota, it's more of an experience to go there.
It's like, no, just drive on over to the studio. We'll do this and send you on your way here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I got out of it is like they put you in like all separate rooms, obviously because there's other guests on there. Ellen does not say anything to you. She never says hi, comes in the room, does anything. But they had a lot of snacks. So was I putting all the snacks in my bag? I certainly was. I'm like, oh, it's free? I'm taking it.
Yep.
Parting gift.
Grabbed a bunch of the Ellen towels. And
everything that was in there that they're like, oh, this is for you guys. I'm like, oh, my daughter was with me and I was like, put it in your bag. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's free.
Yes. That's cool. So you, correct us if we're wrong, but you started competing in bodybuilding at the age of like 17.
Yep.
You're obviously not the first person that did like some bodybuilding before powerlifting and it, made that transition, but it's just interesting that you like had been competing at such a young age already. Like, what was your influence on getting into that? So early.
Because Instagram wasn't
Right,
influencing
yeah,
you, so how
right.
the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had
It wasn't
Flex
for clout.
magazine.
Yeah.
No, I was just like a weird kid, honestly. I think like, I had done gymnastics. I was always like really into like doing like sports outside of like that. And so when I quit that, I just didn't have anything to do. And like, I tried track, hated it, tried other sports. And I was like, man, this just isn't like the same for me. And so I actually had a friend who was kind of a tomboy like me. And we would like ride motorcycles and do rollerblading. And she's like, my mom got this gym membership. Let's go to the gym. And like, we actually went to a stupid step class and I was dying. I was like, I can't do this. I was literally couldn't breathe. And so she was like, going all balls out on this stepper. And I was like, I'll be downstairs. And then I just went into the free weight room and started lifting. And I was like, holy shit, this is way better. I don't have to like work so hard. And I just got hooked and just was going to the gym. She stopped going and I kept going.
Wow, that's at what point like did you start going from okay, like this is something I kind of like doing to I think I need to compete in bodybuilding, because even that's still a pretty big step.
Right.
Yeah. So as I was lifting, and I had a pretty decent physique just from being a gymnast, because you're doing so much body weight movements and did track. So like I had like already kind of good structure. And one of the trainers there actually was like, oh, he's like, you ever thought about doing bodybuilding? And they were throwing me like the Flex magazines and stuff. And like, I fell in love with Sharon Bruneau and I just loved the way that she looked. And I was like, I need something to do. Like, I'm totally bored. I didn't really like hang out a lot, didn't drink. So didn't have a ton of friends. I know that's so sad. It's a sad story. And, so I was like, I think I'll just do a bodybuilding show. And, actually the cool thing about it is I had like a friend that was a cheerleader at the time and I was getting ready for the show and I was like, flipping through the magazine, trying to figure out how to diet. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, here's like these bodybuilders, Kevin Levrone. And I was like, I'm just going to take their diet, which they're grown ass men, and just cut everything like in half and just keep cutting it in half and cutting it in half. So at least I had enough sense to be like, okay, I probably shouldn't consume 6,000 calories. And I just did my diet that way and just kind of like, played around with it, just would look in the mirror and see what looked good. And I remember that year they were having an assembly like for like the end of the year. And they did this whole like assembly for me, like, oh, Marisa's getting ready to compete at her first bodybuilding show, which is like, nobody knew what that was.
Right.
Which then made everyone vote for me, like most likely to pose for Playboy. Cause they just thought it was like posing. Like, wow, this is not good.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was actually like pretty cool. Like everyone in the school was like pretty pumped about it, even though they had no idea what it was. But yeah. And then I just did my first show and I had a couple friends go down and, they were like, okay, this is weird. But yeah, I mean, I think I was just strange in the sense that I just didn't care. I wasn't like, didn't have a boyfriend or anything. I didn't really care if guys liked the way that I looked. I just liked the way that muscle looked on Sharon Bruneau specifically.
Yeah. So do you have any interest in bodybuilding and figure and stuff now? Like, would you ever compete in that again at some point in time, or what do you think of it today?
So actually, like I competed for a while, and back then it was just bodybuilding. There was not all these other divisions,
Right.
and it was just NPC. There wasn't like the drug tested division, and these women were just they were big. I mean, they were doing a ton of drugs, and I was like, okay, this is not the route that I want to go. Because I mean, I love muscle, but I don't love it to like that extreme.
Yeah.
So when I stepped away from that and then kind of found powerlifting, that's when all the other divisions started coming about. Like, this is obviously before wellness and bikini, but they had physique. And I was like, okay, physique is cool. I actually did a physique show. Hadn't really like dieted in a long time in that way and still was trying to do it on my own. Did not do too good at that show. I think I took like third and then did nationals. And that's the nationals that I bombed at. Cause I think I just did not weigh enough. And like, I was like not training right. And yeah, I bombed at my very first USAPL nationals on squats. And Yeah, so I just haven't done one since then, and that's only because like you kind of have to pick, right? Like I couldn't really do both and do them both well.
You can't ride two horses with one ass.
Exactly. my ass is barely big enough for the one horse. So like,
you definitely can't ride two.
Exactly. So I think like after I do this Worlds, I might, I've talked to like Charlie from RP, and he's like, hey, after this World, he's like, let's like kind of do a little collaboration. Like we'll do your diet and you do the lifting, and like let's do like a physique show or something. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really love snack food, so it's so hard. Like everyone's like, what's harder, powerlifting or bodybuilding? I'm like 100% bodybuilding, because powerlifting, you get under the weight, and there's stressful times and it can be really frustrating. But it's like bodybuilding, it's like you can't eat the snack foods, or you can't. It's just so hard. Like the mental aspect to like when you're hungry, like not give in to eating and like just going crazy with snacks, obviously, or cheese. Like it's so hard.
Yeah,
that's
it's like all
level.
consuming.
Yeah.
It's not just like go to the gym and show up. Yeah. So do you like is like cutting weight at all part of your thing, or are you pretty much right on your weight?
So I usually am like 53.5 kilos. I don't really go too much heavier than that. Funny enough, like I've never had a problem with weight, and I'm blaming Chad for this. It's his fault. He's shaking his head at me right now. So at this last nationals, I go to weigh in and I'm like 52.02. Like, oh, sorry, you didn't make weight. You have to go to the end of the line. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm spitting in the cups. It's never happened to me before.
Yeah.
Because the night before, Chad gave me a bite of his steak and it was super salty. He's like, you're fine, just take the bite. And I swear that bite of steak
retained a whole bunch of water.
Yeah, because usually like I track and like we know like you lose this much overnight. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be fine. So I'm spitting, go back on 52.0 something still. 01. And I was like, holy shit, I don't have this much saliva in my mouth. And so one of the judges was like, do a headstand. Like if you do a headstand and hold it for 2 minutes, like it does something to the scale. I'm like, oh, I don't give a shit. It's worth a try.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's like, you're still
right?
you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because Chad thinks it's bullshit. All I know is I did it. I stepped on the scale and I was 51.99.
Oh. Maybe they just say, if you just step off the scale 3 times and back on, it just gets lighter. Maybe that's all there is to it.
I don't know. The lady said, she goes, when you go stay on your head for at least 2 minutes and you get back on, because I don't know how it works. It's got to be bullshit, but I made weight.
That's all that matters.
And I've never been that stressed out in my life. So I really don't know how people who are like way over, like how they spit like as much as they do to make weight. It was really stressful.
You talked about snack food, and we do on this podcast love talking food, and I'm kind of questioning how much you like snack food, because you still only weigh 114 pounds. So I'm wondering, what are your go-to snack foods, though?
Oh, cheese, chips, and salsa. I mean, what else do I like to eat, babe? What are my snack foods? Those little baby drumsticks. I think like I like the foods, but like
just not
I'm
that
probably
much.
more of like, I'm probably just more like of a bad influence for Chad, because then whatever I don't eat, he eats.
Yep.
So like if I take a bite or two, then like I'll just then feed it to him.
That's absolutely how it works in my household. Yeah, I'm the garbage disposal for my wife and all children. Yeah.
Yeah, chips, crackers, charcuterie board. I'm like, I'm pretty bougie.
Okay.
All that fancy stuff.
As far as fancy, yeah.
So this is a question that like you are probably uniquely qualified to answer on like mostly all other people. Tommy and I both run Juggernaut AI training and sponsor of the podcast here, actually, as a matter of fact. But we're wondering, has this happened, or what if this happens, that Juggernaut AI becomes so effective or so useful that Chad is there a point where Chad almost becomes unnecessary or obsolete? Like, is that a concern in your life at all?
Yeah, well, that's the goal of Juggernaut AI. So Chad becomes obsolete.
But we just wondered, like, that might be a concern of yours. You know what? It might be, what is he good for at a certain point? You don't need him. You have Juggernaut AI.
I married the app.
It really is self-aware. Okay.
Isn't that like that? What's that movie where the guy
Is it her?
Her, yeah.
where he's like, it's in
is that
love with
Joaquin
the-
Phoenix with
yeah.
his phone or something like that?
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah. Okay. So that could be like you. You just
Yeah.
you just have the app.
Exactly. It just can't cook for me. I don't know. We gotta do some tweaks now.
I mean, it can't cook for you yet.
Yeah. There's probably like some Alexa home integration you can get, and that could take care of that, though, I'm sure.
No, we have to figure this out now.
All right, cool. So, Tommy, what do you think about overrated, underrated? Okay,
we should do it.
we've got this game we play with every guest, Marissa. Overrated, underrated, and we have a
Mm-hmm.
special set of overrated, underrated topics that are just for you. They're handpicked for you, and it's your job to decide if each is overrated, underrated. And the big thing you have to remember is you can't ride the line. You have to definitively decide whether they're over or under.
Or
This
to
is
put
not a
another
good
way-
game for indecisive people.
Yeah.
To put another way, you can't ride two horses with one ass.
Yeah.
With one ass. Oh yes, we've established that. Yes.
Okay. Overrated or underrated onesies?
Underrated.
For you, I suppose, but not for.
I mean, if they were like, I swear, I always tell Pete Spence, I'm like, can we like do something with the SBD like singlets? You know, I mean,
Well, it is
we,
borderline a singlet, really.
slut 'em up a bit.
Some of those are almost
It's
singlets,
kind
aren't
of,
they?
you could say, yeah, a singlet with like leggings on it. I mean, that's
yeah.
so.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess a lot of guys don't have the ability to know what's like lifting one of those. So I guess we'll have to take your word for it.
Yep. Overrated or underrated manual transmission stick shift vehicles?
underrated. I love stick shift.
And does that,
Also, my daughter just got her driver's license and looking for a car. The manual transmissions were so much cheaper. I'm like, dude, can we teach you to drive a manual? Because this is like money saving right here. And I think it's because they are on the lots for like 10 months and like they cannot get rid of them because
So
nobody knows how to drive manual.
Are you going to go that route then?
No, God, no. My daughter is it's hard enough teaching her automatic. It's awful.
Yeah, fair enough. I could probably relate to that with my
Yeah.
kids at some point in time. Overrated or underrated Adidas?
Oh, you know, I love Adidas. They're underrated. Everyone like wears Nikes, although I have made the switch to like Jordans when I squat. So I might have to overrated.
That
I will not say, Chad wants me to tell you what size shoe I
we
wear.
do,
I wear
I
a
do want to
size,
know now, yeah.
I wear a size 3.
no,
Really?
a 3?
That's how we get the Jordan.
Yes. That's why I get
What?
the Jordans very cheap. It's like, it's really, it sucks though, because like it's so hard to find like high heels. Like they don't make high heels like that are small. Like size 6 is the smallest. And like everything the only company that makes a high heel that fits my foot typically is like Manolos that are like $700. Like not going to happen.
How tall are you?
Hey, could you
I'm
just
5
take me
feet.
to the preschool slutty high heels. Slutty shoes for babies.
Chad is hijacking my
Yeah,
podcast
that's
over
good.
here.
Yeah, when he puts it that way, yeah, I guess a lot of companies.
For the big kids section. Big kids.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, a lot of companies probably are like, hey, yeah, we need to make a really sexy shoe that like
Yeah.
a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's
right,
really
right.
hard to find. Like they just don't make them. It's very frustrating.
3. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, at least you get cheaper shoes. Then.
Yeah. What?
Okay, true. But like one time, like I saw these like white Adidas, and I was like, oh my god, finally these white Adidas with the black stripes. I gotta have them. And I order them, and they have fucking Pokemon on them. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Like I was
Gotta
like,
catch
oh my
'em all.
god,
Yeah.
yes. Fun surprise, yes.
What Jordans do you wear? The Jordan 1s, do you know? Or like those have really become a popular squat shoe though. Like I see more and more people squatting in Jordans all the time, it seems like.
Yeah, Chad bought me, what Jordans are those? The Jordan Retros?
Those are fun.
Yeah.
12s.
Oh, Jordan 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are good ones. I am a fan
Yeah.
of the 12s. Yeah. Okay.
The classic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it must be a good squat shoe though. I see people squatting them all the time.
Yeah, I think like that's like even before I would wear Adidas because I just kind of liked that they were you know, have a tiny slight heel in the back, not very big, but just a little bit kind of medium. And like the sole is not squishy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Overrated or underrated liquid egg whites?
Ugh, overrated.
Okay. So you're not a big fan of liquid egg whites?
No.
Us either.
Is anyone a fan of liquid egg whites?
I don't even think bodybuilders are. I think they just have to have them.
Yeah. Okay, good. They are gross. I thought we'd seen something that you mentioned something about eating those, and I'm like, are you the one person that actually likes those? I wanted to get to the bottom of that. Okay.
No. Actually, even like eggs, like thank God Chad like makes breakfast and stuff, because even so sometimes cracking like a real egg just kind of grosses me out.
Yeah. I can kind of
Tanner's like an egg machine.
Yeah, I go through eggs like crazy, but I at the same time I kind of get what you're that makes sense. What you're saying right there makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Like there's that moment sometimes when you crack it, there's that egg smell and it's gross.
It's that, or if you ever get it and like the egg yolk is like off just a little
the
bit,
wrong color, a little too orange or something.
Almost, like I could be making scrambled eggs and like you get 3-4 eggs in a bowl, and if that last one is like the wrong color, it almost ruins the whole thing for me. I almost have to start over.
It gets like a weird orange color on some of them, and I'm like,
or it's like there's like almost like a it almost seems like a bloody spot. And you're like, I don't know what's going on here. I can't take my chances.
The thing to me, and then I start to think, how far away is this from like having a beak, or something like that?
Because you would never eat a chicken, right, Tanner?
Not the beak. Okay. All right. Last one. And this is the most important. It's worth all the marbles. It's the most serious one. And pretty much your performance of the entire podcast comes down to this. So no pressure though.
No pressure.
All right. Overrated or underrated? Chad Wesley Smith.
Underrated.
Not the app this time. We're talking
Not
about
the app.
the real guy.
Human.
Yeah.
The real human.
Yeah. Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Of course.
Good choice. Seems like an all right guy from what we've experienced. So I guess we'll agree with you.
Yeah.
He's pretty okay.
Good news. I think as long as you agree, Tommy, it looks like you passed overrated.
I think,
underrated.
the numbers are in. It looks like you did pass.
Yay. Well, it's good to know. I mean, otherwise, Chad just pull the sponsorship.
No matter what you said, we were going to say underrated. So, no, that's cool. We're excited to see how IPF World goes for you. We'll be rooting for you for sure. Is there anything, obviously Juggernaut AI, the app and everything else, but is there any other sponsors or any of that other stuff that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, no, just, get 2 weeks free on the app, support Juggernaut. It's, obviously by the numbers and all the PRs, it works. And if you're looking for diet, RP strength, Marisa 10 will save you some ducats there.
Sweet. We're really not saying your name right then, are we?
What did you guys say?
Well, because what did you say your RP?
We have that very thick.
I'm not saying we're wrong, but we're just saying it very, very.
We have our own heavy accent that we put on it.
Like our almost Canadian accent.
Yeah, now I have to hear it. Let's hear it.
Marisa is what I would say. And it's like probably like the whitest possible way of saying someone's name is how I would normally say everyone's name.
Yeah, I mean, but it's fine. Like I don't really trip on that. The only time I really get mad at that is like when the girls at El Pollo Loco say Marisa and they speak Spanish. It's so infuriating to me.
You know better.
I'm like, wait, you're talking Spanish to the cook back there, and then they're asking me my name for the order. I say Marisa, and they're like Marisa, and I was like, I think you're doing that on purpose.
I bet that is. I bet there's a little bit of like, nah, we're gonna stick it to her.
I feel like it. I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate getting you on here, but we've got a big Juggernaut AI ad to read, so we've got to let you go here pretty soon.
Awesome. Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, cool.
Thanks a lot, Marisa.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Not too many cool beans. She's not that big,
That's you can only ride one cool bean with one ass.
It's been a long time since I've heard that saying. Like a very long time.
As she was talking, I was really excited. It was making me think of it. I was not going to not allow.
Yeah, you got
to get that
gotta
out
get
there.
that one in there.
Yeah.
Someone's going to present the opportunity.
Yeah, not very often in the history of the podcast does the opportunity arise to be able to say you can't ride two horses with one ass.
Except for maybe every reading of the rules of over under, but besides that, there's not a lot of
we might have to start working that into the reading
I don't
of the.
think that's a bad idea.
Maybe like I kind of read it and then you say it, and like to clarify, you know,
people
you can't.
would probably understand. Well, probably understand that saying better than the word druthers.
That's true. I don't even always bring up druthers because I like if people don't really, if someone really gets
What we
our
got going
thing of
on.
the podcast, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, they're saying druthers
They're
to
gonna be hung up like, oh
silly.
shit, they said druthers. Am I supposed to know what that word is? Like this is this bad that I don't know what that word is?
Like, are they trying to sound
I'm starting
smart by saying
I'm starting
druthers?
the game in a hole. I don't even know the rules.
Like, what do you mean I have my druthers? That was cool.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that was.
Very good stuff. We got a little cameo by Chad in there even too. So.
It's always funny
But
when you have. We've had a few podcasts now where there's a significant other or someone else chatting in the background.
Yeah,
and
that's
it is
kinda
always funny
fun.
when you get that other piece of feedback coming in,
Like coming from just their end of the conversation.
And they're usually like throwing in some one line or there's some zingers.
Yeah,
And he was.
that was fun. That all reminds me. I have a little something else I wanted to say here.
Do ya?
And someone suggested this week, because if you don't know, I often read this Juggernaut AI ad in kind of my Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation, which, if you know by now, I don't have an Arnold Schwarzenegger
Oh, you're
impersonation.
going to switch it to your Lou Ferrigno impersonation
Well,
this
no,
week?
someone said you should do it in your Zahir impersonation. Zahir
Okay. Yeah.
Kudrayev or, Zahir.
Probably a name a lot of people don't know anymore, actually.
We made a meme this week about Zahir, and it's almost like I feel like probably half the people that follow us won't even, when they see Zahir, they won't even know who that is. And when we started Massenomics, that would be like a key meme thing.
Yeah, that was.
He was like the top of open powerlifting.
I think he was the number one guy in open
I think he
powerlifting,
was,
wasn't he?
Yeah. And like he was like so memeable because of his like, he would do these posts where it's always like 400 kilo fucking comeback kill.
Yep.
440 better than ever, and it like doesn't make sense.
And it was
like,
all like uppercase.
yeah.
And
He was actually like the what's the account we
Dark Iron Gains kind of. He kind of was like a sort of a real Dark Iron Gains, wasn't he?
like a non-facetious like this is straight up how I talk
He kind of was.
without sans the emojis.
Uh-huh. Yeah, if you put some emojis on his, it could almost read as a Dark Iron Gains caption.
So I'm going to do this in my Zahir impersonation, which if you don't know by now, my Zahir impersonation is a lot like my Arnold impersonation. It is
spot on.
It is my voice, only just louder. So come with me for this ad if you want to lift. That's Zahir. I need your clothes, your boots, and your individual weak points on the major lifts. I was just going to talk about Juggernaut AI a little bit actually here. We have both been using it. Several people have actually joined up and started using it out of our Discord community, and a lot of positive feedback.
Too?
Actually, we have a crew of people right here in Western Northeast South Dakota, all using the Juggernaut AI app, and really enjoying it. I kind of get the pulse from everyone at the gym every time I'm in there. I'm always asking them how it's going and what their training looks like, and
everyone's getting juggy with it.
Yeah, and you were just even talking about like the perk of being able to swap out a lift just for the day. Like you had a real reason for that day to where it made more sense to not do the lift that you were planned
feeling
on.
a little tender,
Right.
or if maybe some reason someone else is using a piece of equipment and you're on a time crunch and you can't wait, you can switch things out. And it's RPE based, so you don't have to worry about messing everything up.
Well, and that's the key. I think like you don't have this feeling. Like when you have
You're
this,
just sabotaging yourself completely.
Yeah, say you're training off this like spreadsheet template that the numbers are this day you're supposed to do 5x5 at this percent, which is this weight, and then all of a sudden you can't or don't or whatever reason you can't do it. You're like, well, now what? Like this whole thing seems off now because I can't do that today. Whereas with the Juggernaut AI app, you make that substitution, you make that change. It's an off day, or maybe it's an even better day, whatever the case is. It changes. It takes that into account. You go on to the next day without this guilt of feeling like you just ruined the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know that feeling?
Yeah.
You don't have
like, it's like low calorie ice cream. It's just guilt free, man. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, low fat ice cream, like in
Just
like the 90s.
guilt-free
Low
and-
fat,
Guilt-free and so delicious.
yes,
Not.
good not joke. There's never a
The
there's
car
not
is-
a bad time for
This
a not
car
joke.
is not black.
Yeah, so go sign up for the Juggernaut AI app. Go to juggernautai.app. Find it on iOS, any of those platforms. You can check out the app stores. And most importantly, make sure to use discount code Massenomics. That will save you 10% on the lifetime of that membership. And we'll be back next week with another Juggernaut AI ad read. And that was the Arnold impersonation.
So
back
what do you
then.
think in that ad read, what do you think your best impersonation was? The Arnold one or the Borat one? Because we
Or
slept both in
Zahir.
there. Or the Zahir one.
Probably the Borat, because it's just one word, so you can not mess that up.
What's
Is that?
the shirt is black knot.
And to be fair, like at a certain point, something like that Borat impersonation,
even the Borat one is just talking louder
well, that's
too in a
you're-
lot of settings.
and like almost everyone's guilty of this. Like you're not even doing a Borat impersonation. You're like a impersonation of the Borat impersonation.
Yeah.
At a certain point where it's just like
Just kind of actually like an impression of like a drunk person doing a Borat impression. Like,
it's just like you and your buddies sitting around, almost like who can do the loudest, worst Borat impersonation.
it's like, yeah, that's the right one. That's how you're supposed to do it, right?
Like you start to actually get like disjointed from even understanding what the real thing is. Like it's
what
just,
his actually words were.
Right,
You just
right.
make it your own.
yeah, it's kind of like, what's that called when you just repeat it? You say one word so much that word starts to like lose meaning. Are you familiar with that?
Is there a
I
term
think there's
for
a
that,
term
actually?
for that,
Oh.
but everyone's just familiar with that
Yeah.
idea almost. You say this one, like, have you, can you say you've actually experienced
Oh
that
yeah,
before?
or like you just say a word and you're like, wait, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to spell it and that doesn't seem right. And the more I say it, that doesn't seem right either.
Right. Yeah, I've certainly experienced that before. It's kind of
I
an
believe
odd,
that. I didn't know that. Yeah, it makes sense that there's a name for it because
Yeah.
like, is it Tommy Boy where they're like Road.
Right, yeah, Tommy Boy is a good
Or
good
Black
example.
Sheep, whatever one of those. I can't keep
That's
those
the
two
same
straight.
movie.
Yeah,
Let's be real. Those are the same movie.
they are.
All right. We actually have a little box segment that we have to get to here today.
Oh, yeah.
Have to and want to.
Yeah, have to. We don't have to do anything.
We get to. A lot of times we have a sack segment. You kind of threw a sack segment at me today, but
You could
luckily
say
we have
it was a phantom sack, a ghost sack.
right. But today we actually have a box segment. So I'm going to open this box.
Are you going to read the message on it?
I'll read the message on the box.
I see a Made in USA sticker.
Yeah, you guys should do a segment called
Here's-
"What's
yeah,
in the Box."
He's
Just an
reading
idea.
the box right now,
Yeah.
actually.
Thanks for what you do with the podcast and all the rest. Big Grant. What do you think could be in this box?
Oh,
this
boy.
thin square box from the Strength Co.
I have a hunch. I have a feeling. And my feeling is correct. It's a thing of beauty right there.
Yep, it's heavy. I don't know exactly how much it weighs, but it feels like it weighs about 35 pounds.
If you had to guess, it'd be around there.
Yeah, check that out. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, is that the Massenomics podcast sticker?
Yeah, actually,
What?
that's the first one of those I've ever seen.
They just give these away?
That's
Sweet. Yeah, we
in
haven't
sticker
seen these
form.
actual stickers before, have we?
Yeah.
I noticed Jen Thompson got one of these stickers too.
Yeah,
didn't
I
she?
saw that too. So if you order plates from the Strength Co, you'll also get a Massenomics podcast sticker in there, and also this Strength Co sticker. But what are we really talking about here? We're not talking about stickers. We're talking about 35-pound plates from the Strength Co.
Yeah, buddy.
God, look at that shine on camera.
It does. The texture hits
Look at
it.
look at when I hit
Yeah.
tilted and you see the light.
It's like it almost looks like that's how they would show off like a weapon in a Marvel movie. The light just hits it. and
Actually,
it
this goes.
yeah.
Is this Captain America's shield where it's like shrink?
Yeah. Like it feels like it should make. I gotta hold
Did you
it.
want-
Like
yeah, I
there's
was
no
gonna say
reason
that.
I should have to hold this,
heavy.
but I do have to hold it. God, does this mean we have to reshoot our entire Strength Co video
It
review?
does. It does.
I
think we did talk about the 35s,
Like,
but we
I
had
had
the
to do the light
prototype
effect thing
35s.
too, Tanner.
Yeah,
It just made it look
it's
so
fun to
cool.
do that, isn't it?
Yep. To let the light hit it just perfect.
Good mention to go check us out on YouTube. You can watch every episode on YouTube as well as listen to wherever you listen. But give us a subscribe on YouTube. Even if you don't actually intend on watching anything on YouTube, just give us a subscribe to artificially pump up those numbers. we're not too proud.
No,
We'll take those
We're
numbers.
not above vanity metrics.
No,
We'll take them all.
not above it. Hell, we're like, that's what we do.
We're below it.
Yeah,
Above it. Below it.
we're under it. So thank you, the Strength Co. And full disclosure, we do actually have a pair of these, but I didn't want to carry both.
Well, in full disclosure, if you've listened to this episode, the Strength Co. is a sponsor too. But
so's Juggernaut, but they're both just damn good things.
they're both just double dipping this episode.
Yeah.
But these are the real deal.
Yeah.
We know from experience,
If
if
you-
you know what I'm saying,
if you-
Tanner.
Oh, I know what you're saying. If you look hard enough, every Massenomics podcast episode is almost an ad. It just all of it. If you really think hard enough, most of it is all.
I mean,
an
that's
ad.
kind of life in general right now, isn't it?
Everyone's trying to sell me something.
These 35s do look great, though. They don't disappoint.
Oh,
Not one bit.
I actually don't think you can buy them right now because they're sold out. But be on the lookout for when you can buy them when they're back in stock. I think 45s and the others are in stock. So go get you
Okay.
some.
Well, yeah, you can get started on your collection, but
Yeah, absolutely.
gotta catch them all. And once you get the 45s, you're gonna need these.
We've got the full collection now.
We do.
Everything. The
We have
gamut.
multiple. Well,
Yeah,
soon to be multiple full collections here. I'm
that's
sure.
true.
Yep. I haven't used plates that aren't these bad boys in a while. Kind of forgot what it's like to just be a regular plate owner.
Yeah, those pathetic losers.
Do you want to put that back in its box? We're just gonna hang these on the wall, right? People won't be able to lift with them. They're a collector's item.
Oh yeah, strictly decorative. The 35s that we've got here, strictly decorative. Just wondering, was there anything else? Did we was that the extent of the rundown? Or was there anything else we needed to run down
I
here?
think we got most of it. I guess at the time of reading this, do we talk about what our release was?
Yes, I guess we did. So correct?
Yeah.
It's been done.
It's been done.
Yeah, we released the gold
The
curl
Discord's
shorts.
not listening. So yeah, the gold curls shorts finally came into existence.
They were real and they're spectacular.
It was another product that at the time when it was first brought up, what was it brought up in a meme contest or something? Like Lou Nutter, I think
Yeah.
maybe. Like that's when we looked at each other and both said, like, this is when we can agree will never happen, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we're
it's
not
safe to
making
say
yellow
This one will never happen.
yellow mesh shorts.
There'll be exactly one person that would buy these.
Yeah.
And
It
here we
memed
are.
itself into
It memed
existence.
itself into
a real
existence.
product. So
Hopefully by this point, if they're not all sold out, they're almost sold out. If they're like our other shorts, they will sell out very, very quickly.
there's a bunch of you longtime Massenomics fans that all have these specific products that you really want to come to fruition. And every once in a while, it actually happens. The breaking parallel shorts and the gold curl shorts are two examples of products
Those
that
are the two best examples.
they only exist because of your specific support from them and like you guys willed them into existence.
Inability to let them die.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would have never made those.
No, we said the
And-
same thing about the green ones.
Yeah.
And then it quickly realized, like, maybe there is, but the gold ones took a long time for us to come
It did.
around.
It was also a little bit of a sourcing issue. We had a hard time
big
finding
sourcing issue.
some
We
of the
checked
right
into it
color shorts
multiple
with
times.
pockets.
Yeah.
We weren't going to sacrifice not having pockets. We felt like pockets are a 100% necessity on the shorts that we make.
They are.
And I don't know. We're kind of hopefully they were very bespoke. Like we said, this is a limited run
Bespoke.
of 100.
Yeah, handcrafted by someone, not
Yeah,
us.
no, not us. We packed them.
Yeah, hand packed by
Yeah,
us.
and we each one of these came with a certificate of authenticity numbered 1 through 100. Big Lou Nutter, of course, did get because
one of one.
he really was the one that spearheaded this whole thing. He did receive pair 1 of 100. He got that sent to him, and by now you've probably seen the little surprise video that he put out. Is
I just saw it tonight.
yeah,
That was really cool.
his girlfriend helped us out. To be honest, this followed the Breaking Parallel Shorts script to a T. So what will the next one be? Only time will tell.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. Only time will tell. That's a good way to sum it up.
You're wearing the nice rack tee. I'm wearing the 8-bit
I'm wearing the
Strongman
nice
tee.
rack
We've
tee.
got all kinds of the classics in stock.
And
Talking about shorts, we've got Lift Shorts 1, a few 2s. 2s, I don't know what's going to happen to the 2s. There's not many 2s out there. If you really want a pair of Lift Short 2s, I would buy them now. I'll just say that. And then of course, the 3s. We've got there's certain sizes of 3s that are getting down there. So also, if you're in the market for a pair of lift shorts, three, I would not wait on those.
Mm-hmm.
Drink spotters, we got some inventory, but supply chain issues. Who knows what'll happen long term on that? Do not wait.
Especially, with
I'm
that
kind
one
of
too,
really mean it on each one of these things. Don't wait.
Pricing on that could get scary later in the year.
Right. So if you want a drink spotter or a second drink spotter or a third or a 10th, whatever it might be, buy one of those now. And like, that's not purely a marketing thing to get us to sell more of them. I mean, like, it could actually get tricky of what you being able to get your hands on a stainless, Gen 1 drink spotter. Who knows?
Yeah.
More to come on that in future months and years, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm. There's always more to come.
Another one. Did we kind of cover all the stuff then? We did? Okay.
We did.
Tommy, where do they find you at?
Do we read
Wait.
all the ads?
Do we have one more left?
Yeah, we do.
Do we have one more left? Thank God.
Do we have one more left? Oh, yeah, because you read the strength co one already.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So you just have,
Okay.
let me guess, Fusion Sports Performance Supplements.
You are the lucky winner.
All
This
right.
episode is brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance Supplements.
Murat would not have been happy with us.
No,
if
he
forgot
would
this
not
with
have.
it.
We wouldn't
we'd
have
got
heard the end of that
We'd
one.
have got a very strongly worded email.
Yes, we would have. Do you know what's in your supplements? If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will. Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. They offer 2 pre-workout options with Super Soldier pre-workout and Mad Titan High Stim pre-workout. Both have proven ingredients at their full clinical doses to maximize performance, increase muscular endurance, improve focus, and get you that much sought-after pump. Both are favorites among strength sport athletes. Healing Factor post-workout combines BCAAs with a full serving of creatine monohydrate and other great ingredients to help maximize your efforts in the gym, build muscle, and recover fast. Fusion's whey protein isolate not only tastes great, it also has 27 grams of protein per scoop, 0 fat, and low or no carb options depending on the flavor. It doesn't contain any soy or gluten, and it won't cause any stomach discomfort. Available in vanilla ice cream, chocolate fudge, and frosted cinnamon roll flavors. Most orders are shipped within 1 business day, and every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS to save a massive 20% on your order.
I just had some Fusion Sports Performance chocolate of some sort, whey protein today.
Did
It's
it
the spot.
really hit that chocolate
Yeah,
spot?
it's good stuff. Get you some of that. 2 other last really quick things.
Oh, they don't have to be quick.
Yeah,
we can go
got
as
all
long as we
night.
want here.
Only thing standing between us and going forever is our bedtimes and
That's it.
work tomorrow and
Just our bedtimes,
Family.
families, jobs, social obligations. But besides that, we
We could
have
go
nothing
forever.
but time.
if go sign up now to become a supporting member. We've got something really cool coming.
Yeah.
And only the people that are a supporting member, but we don't know what the date is. There's going to be a date in the sand, a line in the sand that you have to
actually, by the time
Yeah.
you're listening to this, the line in the sand is
really
very near.
So make sure to sign up because there's going to be there's a number of perks to that, like getting access on the Discord, and there's a discount code, and you get early access to drops and early info on drops and early info on guests, and you get to listen to the podcast live and a bunch of stuff.
and you get to be involved in one of the most active communities on the internet.
It really is. If you're into, these like a social network that's really actually like super driven down to people
some
that have like the
join
exact same
like golf courses to join kind of like-minded
So,
individuals.
yeah.
Well, we have our Massenomics network that's very
And that's the best.
very like-minded individuals.
But we have this thing coming, which we're not going to talk about it yet. It's really cool, and everyone that is a supporting member by a certain date is going to get to take advantage of it. People that join after that, we don't know how that fits in exactly yet. But if you're a member by a certain date, you will get to capitalize on it. It's going to be really cool, really fun. Get signed up now. get signed up right now. So I would hate for someone to join up like
So
a
just to
day
maybe like
after.
drive home the sense of urgency. Do
Yeah.
you say 3 spots left?
There is only 3 spots
Okay,
remaining.
now people are like, all right, get me in there.
Once we fill the next 3 spots, we're going to
Shut it down.
We're going to grab a stick and put that line in the sand. That was that. Oh, and then the other thing was just someone I think we mentioned something about Dante being at the gym and having the call pepper locker and just,
yes.
yeah, and that's just, yeah, it's been cool having him around. I guess there wasn't a lot to tell at the rest of that story yet, but
Just
cool.
thinking out loud.
Yeah. So where do they find you at, Tommy?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
Oh, I wondered what letter it was going to be this time, just in case you changed it.
I didn't change it yet.
Follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.